Welcome back to SportsCy. Today I'm going to be talking about how to get your arms bigger so that you can look good at the beach or wherever you want to show off your arms. I want to make sure that my biceps, especially the long head, the peak, is looking nice, and so I want to make sure that my triceps are popping out, because if your triceps are popping out, then it actually makes your arm look even bigger, because it's all about the angles. Even though this video I'm going to be working on arms, an area that people don't focus on is their shoulders. So if your shoulder stability is not right, you're going to run into injuries, and it's going to hurt you from going back into the gym where you can actually make improvements. Biceps, why biceps are absolutely important, and why the long head of the bicep, which attaches up here, comes all the way down and joins the other bicep, why is critical in terms of your stability. Anytime you're doing any type of rowing or doing pull-ups, your biceps end up working, but that's because everything attaches at the shoulder. The shoulder is one of the most flexible joint areas that you need to focus on. But the important thing here is still about the arms, because we want to get our arms looking big using science.
Yes, science!
Always do my shoulder warm-up so I can have nice stable shoulders, so that I can actually put on heavy weight if I need to, and to make sure that I don't hurt myself. One common thing that I tend to see a lot of people do, never focus on their shoulders, and they never focus on their shoulder stability. You can get your arms big, but also you got to make sure that you have good shoulder stability, because if you end up getting injured, you're not going to be able to go back in the gym to make those gains and look good for the ladies or intimidate your opponent, whatever your goal may be for why you want bigger arms. So now we're going to go into the gym, and I'm going to show you my warm-up. Check me out! I know what you're thinking, right? Lightweight, only 2.5, right? May not seem that much, but when you do this, you'll definitely feel it in your shoulders. Everything around the scapula, everything that retracts, elevates, depresses, compresses, and this is just one of the quick ways that I just get my shoulders ready for my workouts. Probably wondering to yourself, what is the first exercise going to be? So the first exercise, dumbbell incline curls, are some of my favorites, because it doesn't allow you to cheat. A lot of times when people are doing like bicep curls, like you start to notice them go, start to sway their arms out. There's no way in hell that could be good for your shoulders. So don't do that. So that's why I like to do seated dumbbell incline curls, because that way I'm not upping myself from cheating, and then also the added range of motion makes it to where I'm actually able to hit the areas of the biceps that I want to hit. And again, here we want to focus on the long head. The long head is the one that's going to be most responsible for your peak.
Yeah, the reason why I love doing them is just notice that the angle that I'm sitting on the bench is allowing me to where I'm keeping my shoulders back, and everything involved is just my bicep. And then because I'm able to actually bring the dumbbells all the way down, then I don't cheat, and I get full range of motion, getting that nice muscle tension as I go up. You don't even need that much weight for this type of exercise. Here I'm like using 30 pounders. And just doing 10, you can tell my face grimacing that this is really hard. So just use these, control range of motion, control tempo, you'll be just all right.
Now the next exercise we're gonna go to is gonna be hammer curls. You've probably seen people do hammer curls before, but we're gonna try to do it controlled here, because what we're trying to aim for, time under tension. You're actually gonna start seeing your peak pop a lot more.
If you've ever done hammer curls, sometimes people just like to go through them really fast. Here you don't want to focus on them going through them fast. You actually want to pace yourself and just make sure that that end range at the top, you give it a nice good squeeze, and that's how you're really going to get that long head working, so that you can get that peak to look good.
Alright, so now that I just finished doing the hammer curls, my arms are already starting to look good, but I like to throw it on a finisher, and my absolute favorite finisher is body curls. So I'm going to show you how to do body curls. You can always adjust it in terms of like what height you want it on these body curls. Get it stronger so that it can grow. This is what you do if you're really trying to get your biceps looking good. Alright, check me out!
Body curls, and if you look at body curls, they look very much like inverted rows. The only difference is I'm trying to pull the bar near my forehead instead of my chest. And a pro tip is the starting position, you want to be parallel to the bar, at the beginning, and then you go all the way down. The end range motion on this is actually tougher, a closing end compared to the beginning.
That was hella hard. Now that we got the biceps taken care of, now it's time to work on the triceps. The reason why the triceps are important is because if you're looking at the side view, here, your arms will look big, but you also want your triceps to pop out. If your triceps pop out more, your arms are gonna look that much bigger. The exercise that I like to work on is overhead triceps. So we're gonna go over and do about 4 sets of 15, because here we're trying to work on volume. But overhead triceps really work the long head of the triceps. All right, let's go.
So my overhead triceps, I'm keeping my elbows in line with my shoulders because I want to make sure that I get a full extension. And if you start putting your elbows in front of your head, then you're actually starting to work on a lat exercise instead of a tricep exercise. And here, still working on the long head, because this is how we're going to make those arms pop.
So the weight doesn't particularly matter as long as you get medium weight, one that to where you feel a certain fatigue once you get to around 12 reps. So, because the thing about here, again, as mentioned before, is time under tension. So that's why the reps are a little bit higher, and that's why the volume is more, because we're getting more time under tension on our muscles. And then I'm working on volume if I'm working on the triceps. The next thing I'm going to do is going to be incline tricep push-ups. So incline push-ups also work on the triceps, and they also work on other areas. In terms of performance, that's one of the ways that you can actually improve your bench by working on triceps. So I'm totally a fan of it because I've done it before to improve my bench.
The reason why I'm choosing a narrower side is because if you have a narrow grip, very similar to a bench, you're actually working more your triceps. So that's why I'm working on this angle. And here you're really trying to work on fatigue, and that's why you can work with the incline angle so that you really get nice good fatigue. And here we're working for failure because we're really trying to overwork the triceps so that we can get them to grow bigger. Exactly. Final exercise that I decide to finish everything, I like to use resistance band rows. Resistance band rows are great just because you're not necessarily working the joints too hard, but you're still working the muscles because it's resistance bands. And then I like to use it just because I get my triceps, biceps, and rotator cuffs really working. It's a good finisher to get you really cut.
Whew. So that was another workout in the books, and so now we're done over here at the gym, and we'll just recap pretty much everything that we went over today. If you're trying to get your arms big, the area that you have to focus on, especially when it comes to your biceps, is your long head. So if you're focusing on your long head, that's how you're going to get your peak, and that's how you're going to start getting them Colin Kaepernick arms, so you can get, that celebration going. But the other thing that I did work on also was triceps. I wanted to work on triceps, and when it comes to triceps, I work on volume because that's how we're going to work on hypertrophy, which is how you get it bigger, and that's how you start getting those Adrian Peterson arms I was talking about earlier. And then in the triceps also, you want to focus on the long head, so that's why I did overhead triceps as one of the exercises. And again, because we're trying to work on fatigue so we get our muscles bigger, I decided to do incline push-ups. And as a bonus, because I talked about how shoulder stability is one of the most important things, especially if you want healthier arms, and also that's why I decided to throw the resistance bands rows at the end just to get the fatigue. And then we're able to hit everything that we wanted to. So now basically you have all the tools in terms of how to get your arms bigger. And if you have any questions, you can always reach me, my email right here, and I'll always be glad to come up with an exercise or program for you so that I can help you get to your performance goals faster. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe and give that like button below, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for checking me out.
You would swear I had a hit list. Everyone who doubted me is asking for forgiveness. If you ain't been a part of it, at least you got to witness. Bitches, it may not mean nothing to y'all. Understand nothing was done for me, so I don't plan on stopping at all. I want this shit forever, mine, ever mine.